Well, hello friends. So this week we're going to get into something very exciting. So we have been spending this year learning the letters, and you have learned that every letter has a name and every letter has a sound. Then let's practice that actually. So this is the letter B and it makes the sound B. Very good. This is the letter I and it makes the sound I. I'm going to put my mouth kind of into a funny smile and say I. And then this is the letter G, and it makes the sound G, G. So those are just letters. If I say B, you have no idea. It doesn't make sense. Or if I say I, doesn't make sense. So we put letters together, and when we put letters together, it makes words. So let's practice. What was that first letter that I showed you? It was the letter B. So I'm going to write the letter B. It makes the sound B. Now I'm going to put it together with some other letters. We practiced the letter I, B, I. Then we practiced the letter G, big, B, I, G. So when we put letters together, it makes what we call words. Now we've been learning lots of words so far. You've learned sight words and other words too, and you've learned that you can put the sounds together quickly to read words in the at family, like cat, hat, mat. We've learned the an family, like fan, pan, can. We've learned about rhyming words. So now we're going to put words. So we put letters together to make words, and then we put words together to make something else. So I'm going to teach you when we put words together what that is called. So right here in my hands, I have the flashcards that we've been making of words that we've learned so far. So these are just all different words. So let's just go back and practice some words that we should know. And remember, we should know them as fast as we can snap, because that will help us become stronger and better readers. So let's go over some of these words. I-S, is. When you see the letter I, it's just the word I, like I. When you see the letter A, there's the letter A all by itself in a lot of places. So we just say like I see a dog. We just practiced this one with the sounds. B-ig, big. I-T, it. C-A-T, at, cat. That's in the at family. This word we see and use a lot. T-H-E, the. So when you see this word, it's the. S-E-E, see, I see. Okay, so those are the words that we're going to use. We're not practicing a lot of them, but all of these words are made up of letters. When we put letters together, it makes words. Now I'm going to show you what we do when we put words together. So here I have my flashcards on the table. Let's go over the words again. It, is, big, the, I, see, cat. Now all by themselves, these words don't mean anything. They're just words. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the words together so they make sense. And these are called sentences. We are going to make a sentence with a few of these words so it can be something that makes sense. So I'm going to move these words aside and I'm going to start a new sentence like I. Then I'm going to move this word. I see. Well, what do I see? Cat. I see cat. Now that doesn't make sense. I'm still missing a word. I have a good word right here that helps the sentence make sense. So let's read it now. I see a cat. Does that make sense? Yes, so I've put these words together to make sense, and this is called a sentence. I see a cat. Okay, so here's our first sentence. I see a cat, but I still have it, the, is, and big. Is there another kind of sentence I could make? How about the, I have another cat here. Cat is big. Does that make sense? Yes, the cat is big is a sentence. So those same sentences that we just made with our flashcards, I've gone ahead and written them on the board. So let's read them again. I see a cat. Okay, read it with me. Now it's your turn. I'm going to point to the word. You read it. Very good. Now let's read the second sentence. The cat is big. Now it's your turn. Here we go. Awesome. Now, there are some very important things you need to know about sentences. Actually, there's 4 things that you need to know about sentences and what makes good sentences. So let me show you. They're all here on the board. So the first very important thing about a sentence is that it always begins with a capital letter. Have you been wondering why there's a capital and a lowercase letter? Well, that's because we use capital letters sometimes and lowercase letters most of the time. So most of the time we use little letters and we only use capital letters for special things. So the first letter in a sentence is very special. So we capitalize it. And that tells us that it is the beginning of a new sentence. So it's a capital letter. So I have the capital letter I for I, and it's the first word of the sentence. And here, T-H-E, the first letter is capitalized. So these are great sentences. They start with a capital letter. That's the first rule, is that it starts with a capital letter. Now, the second thing about sentences is that it's a good idea. It's a complete idea. It makes sense. So put your finger right here on your brain. So that means you understand the sentence. It's a good idea. It's a complete idea. I see a cat. That's a complete idea. So it makes sense. If you say that, it makes sense. If I just said cat, that's it. That's just a word. I don't know what it means. So a sentence needs to be a complete idea so we know what you mean. Then that's the second rule, is that it's a complete idea. The third rule is that we're not going to learn a lot about this in class PP, but next year when you're with me in class 1, we're going to learn a lot more about it. But can you see at the end of my sentence, I see a cat? I have a little dot. That dot is called an end mark. At the end of every sentence, there's an end mark. Now there's different end marks. There's this one, which is a period or a full stop. There's an exclamation point and a question mark. There's lots of different end marks. There's a few different end marks, but save that and put that in your mind for class 1. Next year, we'll learn about that. But right now, you just need to learn that a sentence will always have an end mark, and that will tell you that the sentence is finished. So that's the third rule, is that it has an end mark. Now the fourth thing, and very, very, very important for good handwriting, for good understanding, is that, hold up your finger. In between each word, when I'm finished writing a word, I leave a space about as big as my finger. So I, and then there's a finger space. C, and then there's a finger space. Then there's a finger space. Cat. If we didn't have a finger space between each word, it would be very hard to read. The words would look very messy, and I'll show you an example. So I just wrote an example on the board. So number 4, the fourth very important thing about sentences is that there's a space between each word. So here is a sentence written properly. I see a cat. Here is the same sentence written with no spaces. Does that look easy to read? No. So that's why it's very important to put a space in between each word that is about the size of your finger. Or if you have a pencil, you can lay your pencil down and keep it as the size of a pencil. That's a very good amount of space. So now we're going to go over some of the work I want you to do this week. So I sent some sentences to you that I want you to practice reading. Now, some of these words you should know because they're sight words or snap words, like the. So I sent this in your lesson that your mom and dad have for you. So I want your mom and dad to help you read these sentences. And then I want you to look with your eyes and find the capital letter. Does it begin with a capital letter? Yes. Does it end with an end mark? Yes. The cat is orange. And is there a space between each word? Yes, it's a great sentence. So your mom and dad are going to help you look at these sentences, find the capital letter, and that's just practice. All right, I want you to practice finding the capital letter, practice reading these words. Some of them are pretty easy. All right, then that's not your homework though. That's just for practice. I want you to practice those at home with your mom. Then the second thing I sent you is a list of sentences. Can you see the list of sentences here? So these sentences, there's 5 of them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to practice first reading the words at the top of the page. These are sight words. So when you see the word I, it's I, like myself. S-E-E is see. T-H-E is the. So these words are going to be in every sentence so that you can get faster and better at reading them. Okay, so then I will show you how I want you to read all of the sentences. So you put your finger on the dot and then you read that word, I. Then put your finger on the next dot, see, the. Then you have to sound this word out, k-at, cat. So then you can practice reading these words. There's lots of different words here that you can sound out. But then there's also I, see, and the in every sentence. So I want you to practice reading these 3 times. It says read the sentences 3 times. So I want you to read them 3 times. And then I want you to take your English notebook and I'm going to show you exactly what I would like you to do. So I have a new page in my English notebook and I have a pen so that you can see it a little bit better, but you can use a pencil. And at the top, I want you to write your name so that you can practice writing your name. And then I want you to write these 5 sentences that I've given in your lesson, okay? And I want you to practice writing them in your English notebook. Now I want you to write them neatly and in the lines. And I want you to remember that a sentence begins with a capital letter. So it's a capital letter. And see how I'm staying in the lines? Then I'm going to leave a gap of the size of my pen. I see. Then another gap. The cat. And then I'm going to write the end mark. Okay? Then I want you to skip 1 line, leave a gap, and then write the second sentence. I see. Then make sure to leave a space between each word. The pen. And then make sure to put an end mark. So see, every sentence begins with a capital letter, has an end mark, has a finger space between each word. So I want you to write all of your sentences, there's 5 sentences, in your English notebook and send me a picture, because I want you to practice writing sentences with a capital letter, a full stop, and proper spaces. Okay, so I can show you that I've written all of these 5 sentences in my English notebook. And you see I have a capital letter, I have a space between each word, and I have an end mark. And then, so this is your first bit of homework. Then your second thing I want you to do is send me a video. I want you to find any stuffed animal. So I have my cow right here. So I want you to find your favorite stuffed animal and read these sentences to your favorite stuffed animal and send me a video of you reading to your favorite stuffed animal. Okay? Or you can pick a toy. If your favorite thing is a robot, you can pick a robot and send me a picture of you reading these sentences to your robot. All right? But you can practice first with your mom and dad and get better and better at reading these sentences. And then send me a picture of your notebook and a video of you reading. And that's your homework for today. Have a great day, boys and girls. I miss you. Bye-bye.